Hello.
What do you think about the repave?
I think it's a benefit for all of us. I think it makes it a lot more. It's a challenge. It's new. I think it's interesting for all of us. I think we all heard a lot and we saw the pictures when it was repaved, and I think all of us were a little scared. And then NASCAR ran here and it seemed to all be fine, and they were able to run 3 cars side by side. So at the moment, I'm positive about it. I just think it's going to be interesting when that second lane starts working.
Paddle mentioned a potential practice session either that weekend or whenever it happened to run in the second groove. Is that something you'd be interested in?
No, absolutely. I think all of us would want to, but I guess it also depends on what the weather allows us to do today. If we're able to get some race running in, I think that's what I think everybody wants to prioritize for this afternoon. And then we'll see how it goes. But I think it's going to be a lot grippier in the high lane than it used to be, because we don't really seem to be able to see the bumps. But again, it all comes down to tire wear. If you're not going to be slower in the low lane, you're not going to be faster in the high lane.
Can you talk about the difference in the hybrid?
Yeah, it's heavier. I think a lot of us have the same opinion. I know that some have different opinions, but I think at the moment we aren't really allowed to deploy enough for it to really make sense. And I think it was the same when I tested it for the first time at IMS for the road course. By the time you used it all, like you had to regen and you couldn't press the button again because it was you deployed all you're allowed to. So, and here, because the track is so short, you deploy, and by the time you want to disarm it, you've already run out of deploy. So, it's quite tough. It adds a lot to the driver for sure.
I know you mentioned NASCAR, and I realize they're 2 completely different circuits, but is there anything when you watch those races that maybe helps inform you about what it could look like here this weekend?
I mean, that was the only, that was the first sight we had, and the first example of what racing was going to be like here. Mm-hmm. It looked like it was pretty fun for them at least. But obviously, we're a very different type of racing. We don't really do pack racing. It's very difficult for us to do. And with the added downfalls that we have right now, which is basically the same as last year, I find it very unlikely that we're going to be able to run 2 side by side specifically.
What are the added downfalls?
The downfalls right now is the same, but I think we're all expecting it to be lower downfalls because we knew we were going to be a lot faster with the repave.
Is that like bumpiness and grip and everything?
No bumps. Finally. This place has been rough.
how relieving is that?
It's I think from a physicality standpoint of view, now it's a lot harder. Right now, I would say I hope it gets better for the race, but I also doubt it because I know it's going to be hotter. And especially with 2 races, it's going to be a long weekend.
Is there anything you want the series to do in preparations for that stuff?
I don't think we really can do anything, really. I think it's all about we're trying to explore different things right now today to see what we can do to make it easier from the driver's standpoint of view, because it is for sure a step up of physicality, but in the end it's the same for all of us.